Have you ever deployed a small feature and that accidentally broke the entire application? Yeah, that is why microservices exist. In traditional monolith system, everything is tightly connected, tightly coupled. One of the small change in a single module can ripple through the entire backend system. That means slower deployment, higher risk, and a constant fear of breaking the production. But what if you could break your app into smaller independent pieces where each service runs and scale with its own team? It has its own deployment environment. This is what exactly the microservice architecture is all about. Instead of one giant code base, one giant everything, you build a system that is loosely coupled and adopt these microservice architecture patterns. So if one service fails, the entire system does not go down. So in this video, in this couple of videos, I'm going to cover the microservice architecture pattern, their real use case, and how you can learn them the proper way. So microservice architecture is just a way of building a software application as a collection of small independent services. Each service runs its own process on its data, communicate with the services through the well-defined API platform. Think of it like a city instead of a one massive building that handles everything, a monolith. So you have specialized building, hospital, healthcare, school, education, bank, finance. Each operates independently, but together they form a functional city. Okay, I will not go through much about this thing. Let's now talk about simple microservice architecture. Here we are splitting things into small chunks. I'm not creating a one single big monolith. Like I have a user service, order service, payment service, three individual different services. Their role is different, and the client can be your desktop app, mobile app, or third party platform. They are connecting to these services through the API gateway. And then user service is dealing with its own database, order service with its own database, payment service with its own database. Now the communication strategy between these services can be different, like synchronous and asynchronous. If you talk about simple request flow, you can see how the simple request flow is happening between these services. What we are doing is client is sending request to the API gateway. API gateway is validating the token, validating the session, and authenticating the user. Is user authenticated, then it is going to create order, process payment, and there is a synchronous communication using Kafka, Redis, RabbitMQ, and all that can happen. So this is just a simple example like how the real microservices really behaves, right? So on from the client side, you hit a login with the email password to the API gateway. Auth service will validate your credentials. Auth service will generate a token. It will give you the token back. Now next thing is you will hit the orders API with the bearer token. Your auth service will validate the token. Token is valid, then create the order. REST creating the order, dispatching the events through asynchronous processes, right? Now we can redefine this whole thing with the event service, event driven architecture, EDA, like order service, nothing to do with the payment service, nothing to do with the user service. They all lives in their domain. How they communicate? Through events. Order created. Who is interested in understanding the order created event is a notification service, because I need to send a notification that this order has been created. Now we will just invoke the payment, right? So order created, it will communicate, it will be subscribed by the inventory service or the notification service. Now payment, once the payment has been processed, that means the consumer for that will be the notification and the analytics, or maybe the delivery partner service will initiate the delivery of that order, assign the delivery partner and all. User service, user registered event will be interested by the notification service on analytics service. So this is overall microservices where we are actually splitting things into small chunks. In this video, I will not talk much about the pros and cons of microservice and monolith. You already aware. With a monolith, slow development, risky deployment, scaling issues, technology lock-in. If you choose one stack for a service, the monolith will be used using the same stack. You cannot decide that, okay, the new service will go on a different stack, right? When we are actually using the microservices, there are pros and cons. I mean, we also need to deal how services will communicate with each other for the data, because if you are having a microservices, they own their own data, then for the synchronous, you can actually inter-service communication using REST. Otherwise, you will be just using the events for that. So microservices are small focused services. Each service is independent. Each service can communicate our network. They solve the scaling problem. No technology lock in. Uh, Microservices exist, but it's not a silver bullet. Obviously, you need to think about your business domain. Do you need a microservices, or you are fine with the monolith, or you just divide them in a such a way that you don't need to split the services. I mean, we have came a long way. We were using SOA, then we started using Monolith. If you think in 2026, obviously we don't talk about Monolith anymore. If you are building a SaaS product and for MVP you can design a monolith, but obviously you need to have a the plan in the mind that in future you can have a separate microservices that can connect with the enterprise services. Okay, so in the microservice architecture you have multiple services. They can centralize their interfaces through the API gateway, GraphQL API gateway, REST API gateway. API gateway will do all the lot of things. They can scale independently, technology flexibility, faster deployment, individual team ownership, right? Team autonomy, fault or tolerance, fault or isolation, easier to understand individual service instead of understanding the whole big monolith together, right? Now there are also cons of having microservice, obvious, right? Distributed system complexity, network latency, data consistency challenges across different services, operational overhead, testing complexity, and all. So obviously challenges exist. So you need to decide in which direction you are moving.